One Question is designed to give subscribers valuable insights on how executive leaders in college athletics think about key issues on their respective campuses, in their departments, or within their leagues and conferences.
Greetings, this is Ty Brown and welcome to One Question. Our guest today is Craig McPhail. Craig is the Vice President of Athletics at Lees-McRae College. Thanks for joining us today, Craig.
Thank you, Ty. Glad to be here.
Now, Craig, you were named the Director of Athletics in 2009, and then in 2014 they added Vice President to your title. And you've been there, of course, at Lees-McRae since 1998 and have accomplished many things as a coach and then now as an administrator. How did, when they added that vice president title, how did that help you accomplish some of the things that you set out to do, when you were an AD and then they added the title to you a couple years ago?
Sure, Ty. I don't know how much it had a difference on what we were trying to do. It legitimized the role that I have with regards to my athletic department across campus. I don't think we are one of those folks that can work in a silo. We're a pretty integral part to the college operations. So in that, it gave us credibility to be able to sit at a table, know that the decision-making abilities we would have a voice with regards to the colleagues on the campus and the decision-making abilities. But it also gave us such a value to know that we're a contributing force to the growth of the college in a lot of different positive ways. That was one of the things that helped me be able to have not a bigger voice, but now a lot of the things as we sit around the table is how does this impact athletics? How can athletics impact us? So it was a pretty good opportunity for us to kind of be more visibly recognized as a contributing force to the operations of the day-to-day ops of a college and an institution who's trying to grow within itself.
And I'd imagine that on a couple of fronts, the president who gave you the title saw it as emphasizing that athletics should enhance the mission of the university, right? And then also at a school the size of Lees-McRae, athletics is very integral to enrollment too, I would imagine.
Sure.
Can you speak on maybe one of those two things?
Right. Make everybody aware, 40% of our on-campus student body participates in intercollegiate athletics.
Right.
I think our president looked at the role that we were playing, the success we were having in terms of the grade point average, community service, retention, graduation rate, and realized that we can be integral into the overall growth of the campus from a loyalty, school spirit, a pride, and a lot of different areas. I mean, sometimes if you want a crowd, you're going to partner up with an athletic event or find a night to where we don't maybe have a home game and we can kind of collaboratively work together towards enhancing the student athlete or just the general student experience. So it was one of those opportunities that we really tried to capitalize on, primarily because of the work that we've done and the progress that we're having, but it also kind of gave a lot of wind in the sails to our coaches and student athletes to feel like, hey, our leader is going to be at the table where key decisions are being made that affect everyone.
Right. And those are significant. And a lot of the things you mentioned are things that you specifically have been celebrated for since you took on the position of athletics director. Coming into, I think, later this year, you'll report to a new president. What conversations do you have with yourself and then with your staff in terms of your upcoming initiatives, development and fundraising, your positioning among the priorities of the new president, and relatively all those things that I would imagine are on the forefront of your mind as the director of athletics?
Sure, Ty. I'll kind of take it a step further. I was selected to be on the search committee for the president-elect.
Okay.
So I think that's pretty invaluable to small college and certainly intercollegiate athletics programs to have that much of a role in the selection process. And one of the questions that we asked all the candidates, was what role did intercollegiate athletics play in their philosophy and their ideology of being a college president? So I think that's important. The conversations that I've had with our incoming president have been already very vital to how the direction we'll move forward. We're doing a SWOT analysis within our athletic department to kind of give him as much information and intel as he can have to make decisions with regards to fundraising, support, and et cetera. But we're also in a process where we're going to have to resell ourselves. You know, what is the value that we add to a college campus? What are we really good at? What are areas we can improve on, not only from a coaching standpoint, administrative standpoint, to kind of look at within ourselves as, hey, what is our reflection? What is it that we can do better, and how can we go about in achieving it? Certainly with a new leader and somebody who's got a passion and energy for athletics at the NCAA Division II level.
Right, exactly. And of course, self-evaluation is an excellent leadership tool. The president coming in, from what I understand, is a big development guy.
Yes, correct.
So at some point, you'll have to explain the initiatives you have. Do you and your staff do a lot of that self-evaluation so that when that point comes, you're ready?
Yes. Yesterday we had a conference call. I'm part of the transition team with our president-elect, and then subsequently I'm going to schedule a staff meeting to kind of go over a little bit about what we discussed, kind of get us all on the same page and prepared. And some of the discussions I've already had with him is, you know, we're the highest college east of the Rockies. So at 4,000 feet, we have a lot of snow and such, and we have 10 plus spring sports teams. And sometimes we have 6 to 8 inches of snow on the ground with temperatures below freezing.
Wow.
With no indoor training facility, so or turf field. So those are the kind of dialogue that we've had. But we want to try and peel the layers back even further to find out how we can grow our rosters, what role he can play in the recruiting and retention of some of our students, how can he best support us to some degree by showing up to games or being an advocate for, you know, maybe it's the mental health, or it's the athletic training, or maybe it's the fuel and the food that the student athletes need nowadays. That's probably a little different than in the past, and certainly an integral part to small college campuses like our size.
It sounds like you have a big part in the transition, actually, and you've done the homework to make sure that in a situation like there at Lees-McRae, where you're 40% of the student body in terms of student athletes, to make sure you're positioned for success, that their experience is a priority, and of course, you make sure athletics enhances the academic mission of the university.
Well, it's a byproduct. You stay at a place as long as I have, and you work with some of the quality people I get to work with on a daily basis. The perspective becomes a lot clearer. You know what you want to try and accomplish, and you can boil it down to so many different things, but it's communication and it's the student-athlete experience that leads us all every day. I mean, that's the path that we've got to take. Certainly, resources and other things will make that better, but you know, we need to make sure that these young people come to Lees-McRae and enjoy the opportunity to earn a college degree in a unique setting while continuing to play their college career, the athletic sport that they played as a child. So it's been fun to kind of have that clarity. It's also encouraging that our president-elect is a fundraiser development guy, knowing the role and the impact that we can play. You know, I tell our folks on a pretty regular basis, I think small college athletics are the front porch of your college. That may be what the first thing some folks see, whether it's on social media or in a newspaper in Charlotte or Winston-Salem or Knoxville, how Lees-McRae played, and they may not know who Lees-McRae is. They go to our website and say, hey, they offer wildlife rehab, or they have a nursing program. So athletics can play such a vital role into the mission of the college if everybody's on board and understands and appreciates it to the level that we are doing right now. And that's been energizing and rewarding all at the same time.
I agree, Craig. Well, this has been a great conversation. It sounds like you had a big hand over the last, I guess it would have been 20 years, making sure that Lees-McRae College understood the vision, and then also making sure that academics and athletics are on the same page.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun, that's for sure.
Well, and I think a lot of people can learn a little bit from this conversation, especially when you're talking about transitioning to a new president. And I just want to thank you for joining us here on One Question.
No, glad I was selected, and certainly be a help in any way possible to anybody in regards to any kind of transition, because we've seen a lot of it.
That was Craig McPhail. He's a vice president of athletics at Lees-McRae College, and this is Ty Brown with One Question. And keep in mind, the role of a leader is to create and maintain an environment that people want to be a part of. And as always, be better tomorrow than you are today. This episode of One Question is produced by Spades Media Group, solving problems using creative leadership.